Imagine trying to rob a bank with a water gun or leaving your ID at the crime scene. Sounds ridiculous, right? Well, it's not a figment of your imagination, but a reality that has truly unfolded in the world of criminal activity, which we are about to delve into today. It's the realm of the 10 stupidest criminals ever, a domain that defies logic and common sense. Picture this: a man is meticulously planning his bank heist. He collects the tools, maps out the route, rehearses the dialogue, and finally, on the day of execution, pulls out a water gun. He brandishes this harmless toy weapon with a degree of seriousness that is both comical and pitiful. The irony of the situation is laughable, but this is just one of the many ludicrous tales we have for you today. Or consider another scenario. A criminal, completely oblivious to the most basic rules of a successful crime, leaves behind a piece of evidence. Not just any evidence, but his own ID. A slip-up so absurd it's hard to believe. But this is the kind of blunder we're about to delve into. We don't just have one or two of these stories, but a collection of 10. 10 tales of criminals who stumbled upon their own lack of foresight and common sense. These individuals, in their misguided attempts at crime, have provided us with moments of hilarity and disbelief. You may laugh, you may cringe, you may shake your head in wonder, but one thing is certain: these stories are about to take you on a roller coaster ride of emotions. We're not just talking about petty mistakes here, but monumental blunders that defy comprehension. So get ready, because these stories are more than just tales of failed crimes. They are testimonies to the sheer unpredictability of human nature, the surprising corners that our minds can lead us into when logic and reason are abandoned. It's a showcase of the bizarre and illogical, an insight into a world that seems fictional, but is in fact very real. These tales are not meant to belittle or mock, but to highlight the sheer absurdity of certain decisions made in the heat of the moment. They remind us of the importance of common sense, of the need for foresight, and the value of thinking things through. So buckle up, fasten your seatbelts, and prepare for a journey like no other. A journey into the unknown, into a realm that absurd and bizarre. It's a journey that is guaranteed to make you laugh, make you cringe, and leave you astounded. Each tale, each narrative will leave you reeling from the sheer lack of common sense demonstrated by these criminals. After all, who would have thought that someone could be so bold, so daring, yet so incredibly naive and misguided? Prepare to laugh, cringe, and be amazed at the sheer lack of common sense. Kicking off our list at number 10 is the water gun bandit. In a misguided attempt to make a quick buck, this criminal mastermind decided to hold up a bank. His weapon of choice? Not a pistol, not a shotgun, but a water gun. Yes, you heard right, a water gun. The audacity, right? His plan was to walk into a bank, brandish his water gun, and demand all the cash. Oh, and did we mention the water gun was brightly colored and made of plastic? You can't make this stuff up. Unfortunately for our would-be bandit, his plot was as watery as his weapon. The bank staff wasn't fooled for a second. They promptly hit the panic button and the police were on the scene in no time. Our water gun wielding wrongdoer was apprehended before he could even get his hands wet. So remember folks, water guns are for summer fun, not felonies. At number 9 we have the Forgetful Felon. This story is one for the books. Picture this: a man, plotting a grand heist, leaves his house with all the necessary tools for the job. He's got his gloves, his mask, and his trusty crowbar. But in his haste and excitement he forgets one crucial thing: his identification. Now you'd think this wouldn't be an issue, right? After all, who needs an ID when committing a crime? But alas, our forgetful friend drops his wallet at the scene, complete with his driver's license, credit cards, and a few incriminating receipts. It wasn't long before the authorities were knocking at his door, his ID serving as the proverbial breadcrumbs leading them straight to him. In the annals of criminal stupidity, our forgetful felon holds a special place. His story is a stark reminder of the importance of details, even in the world of crime. Let this be a lesson: if you're planning a crime, maybe make a checklist. Coming in at number 8, we present the GPS Goon. It was an ordinary day when our GPS Goon decided to commit a theft that's now firmly etched in the annals of criminal blunders. His loot of choice? A shiny new GPS device. But alas, our Goon was not the sharpest tool in the shed. He was blissfully unaware that GPS, short for Global Positioning System, could well position him globally. His misguided confidence led him to believe he'd made a clean getaway. But as fate would have it, the stolen GPS began to ping its location, leading the authorities right to his doorstep. It was almost as if he'd left a trail of breadcrumbs, but in this case it was digital breadcrumbs, leading the police straight to him. And so our GPS Goon was apprehended, the stolen device retrieved, and a valuable lesson was learned. Evidently, stealing technology requires understanding at first. Just missing the top spot at number 2 is the Selfie Saboteur. This is a tale of vanity gone horribly wrong. Our selfie-loving criminal decided to document his heist with a quick snap of his face right at the scene of the crime. It was a moment of self-indulgence that would soon prove to be his downfall. Now we all love a good selfie, right? But this guy took it to a whole new level. He didn't just want to remember his crime, he wanted to immortalize it. There's nothing wrong with being proud of your work, but when your work involves illegal activities, it's probably best to avoid any kind of documentation. As you might guess, the selfie ended up in the hands of the police, who had no trouble identifying him. It was a direct ticket to the slammer, all because of one ill-judged click. Next time, maybe just stick to Instagram. And finally, at number 1, we present the Master of Disguise. In an audacious attempt to camouflage his identity, our top contender for the most foolish criminal decided to don a disguise that was, let's say, less than effective. His choice of disguise? A transparent plastic bag? Yes, you heard that right, folks, a clear plastic bag. The kind that you might use to carry your groceries or maybe store a sandwich. You might be wondering how this brainwave struck him. Perhaps he thought that the glimmer from the plastic would distract the CCTV cameras. Or maybe he fancied himself as some sort of an invisible man. Whatever his thought process was, it certainly didn't pay off. His grand plan began to unravel almost immediately. The moment he stepped foot into the bank he was planning to rob, his transparent disguise did nothing but draw attention. The bank staff, customers, and even the security guard were taken aback by his peculiar appearance. It was like watching a goldfish walk into a room full of cats. The alarm was quickly raised and the Master of Disguise found himself surrounded by the police before he could even pass a note to the teller. His clear bag, which he had hoped would be his ticket to anonymity, had instead become the spotlight that shone brightly on his ill-conceived plan. His swift apprehension was a stark reminder that crime doesn't pay, especially when your disguise is as clear as day. His story is one that has been recounted with chuckles and shakes of the head, a testament to the sheer stupidity that some criminals display in their misguided attempts to break the law. So, let's raise a toast to our Master of Disguise, the criminal who tried to hide in plain sight and ended up being the star of his own farcical show. Remember folks, a clear bag might keep your sandwich fresh, but it won't keep you hidden. There you have it folks, the 10 stupidest criminals ever. Let's recap the top 3. The Selfie Saboteur, who left us a picture-perfect evidence of his foolishness. The Master of Disguise, whose disguise was so masterful, it was practically invisible. And who could forget the forgetful Felon who remembered everything except not to leave his ID at the crime scene. Remember, crime doesn't pay, especially if you're as silly as these guys. Thank you for tuning in, and until next time, stay smart and stay safe.